Welcome, everybody. Good morning. If you're new with us today, we'd invite you to pick up a whoa, too loud? Okay. We welcome you to pick up a welcome packet after the service. We are opening with a beautiful song by our own choir. Is everybody smiling now? I forgot my glasses. Well, let's do this. I'm Christy Carr. I'm your practitioner for today at the Center for Spiritual Living, where we invite you to empower people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. The practitioners today are Charlie and I, and we will be available after the service by the bell. Let's all welcome the children up, and as we do, I invite you to wave to the camera and everybody out there with a smile. Whoops, okay. I'd like to thank all the members in service here today for all that they have done to make today possible. I also invite you to turn off your cell phones or just turn them on silence. We have some focus announcements. We're going to have Charlie and Steve Smith come up here.
Good morning. How's everybody? So Steve's going to be right up here right after me. So I'm just here to let you know this is the last day of the used book sale, and it's been a wonderful success, and so we appreciate everybody's donations and buying and that whole recirculation of knowledge and beautiful books. But we could use your help at the end of service. If we had around 15 people take 2 or 3 of the boxes with them and help recirculate them in the Reading area. And some of the places are like the Goodwill, Cal's Books, the Reading Library. There's a number of places that will take the books, but we want to get them back into circulation so others can, appreciate the wonderful knowledge in each one. So if you have any questions about that, you can see Diana in the back, but that would be a great help. Thank you. Steve?
Good morning. I'm here to talk about the Speak Your Truth open mic, which comes next Friday at 7 o'clock. And everybody is invited to share, but more than that, everybody is invited to listen and to witness. A part of the power of the open mic is having an audience. So I want everybody to know that nobody's under any pressure if you show up to get up on stage and get behind the microphone. That requires kind of a certain focus. But anybody who's come and listened has been really rewarded with a very rich experience between the poetry and the music and the storytelling. It's time well spent. So that's the last Friday of every month, which means, where is it? The 23rd, 4th Friday, right? Sometimes we have 5. I get confused. Also, coming up on the 1st of March, which is the first Friday, is the, I made a New Year's commitment to be more organized. But these March 1st, when Friday is on the very first day of the month, and I get, whoa, I got to be on my toes. So the drumming circle, or the spiritual music jam, it's not just drums. There's always a quiet spot and periods that people are encouraged to sing or play musical instruments of different types. It's really quite a unique experience, and I usually introduce it by saying that it's an exercise in collective expression. Because even though there are leaders, everybody has a voice, and everybody's talking at once. And that collective expression ends up expressing itself in some pretty amazing rhythms, and becomes like a story that we're telling. And each month that we gather, the story is different, very different. And there are always very touching moments and revelatory moments. So you're all invited to come. It's also an exercise in empowering your intuition, because it's not a logical process. Oh, it goes ding, 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 ding. It's not like that. It's like, the way I express it is this. If a dog goes, roof, we have an automatic reaction to go, roof, roof. And it's that principle that when you hear something, there is an automatic human reaction in it, and you just say, okay, do it, and allow your body to react. And it is quite empowering to be able to just, boom, especially when the vocal part comes, if you want to join. Because we have so many voices inside that say, oh, no. You don't want to be noticeable. You don't want to, don't speak too loud. I remember when I was in high school, and I tried to scream at one point at a concert, and I couldn't. My voice was locked up. It's like, ugh. We have to practice. We have to practice letting go to be able to really free ourselves to express. So this is an opportunity. I don't want to go on and on. You know me, I can do that. Have a wonderful service.
I have one more person I'd like to invite up, and that is Christine Stewart. Would you like to come up and announce your Healing Touch class?
Well, good morning. I didn't know I was going to be doing this morning. So, I'm Christine Stewart. I'm a certified Healing Touch practitioner and instructor, and you might wonder, what is that? Well, it's an energy therapy. So if you have ever been really curious about energy healing or energy therapies, we are having class. It's 2 Saturdays, consecutive Saturdays, starts this coming Saturday, and then the 24th of February, and then the 2nd of March. It's all day from 8:30 to 6 with lots of breaks and an hour for lunch. But what you'll learn is, you'll learn about the human energy system. You'll learn how you can affect that human energy system for increased vitality and healing. And it's really incredible for depression and anxiety. It's wonderful for post-surgical interventions. It helps people to relax so that they can heal properly. So if you are interested in learning how to do that for yourself or for others, then you can talk to me later, or you can sign up at the back of the the church here, and we will hope to see you on Saturday. See you.
Thank you. You described that much better than I would. What do we have left? The office and the bookstore will be closed on February 19th in observation of President's Day. This Friday, coming up the 23rd, we have the Hope Van, and where we can experience homelessness. Excuse me. If anyone would like to bring a warm casserole or some cookies or utensils, the people would greatly appreciate it. It's on Friday the 23rd, starting 8:15. She did that, okay. Oh, that's it? Okay, I'd like to invite Lori up for her reading, and then I will invite the bell, and then I will do a spiritual mind treatment.
The reading this morning was chosen by Reverend Sue, and it is from Mark Nepo. The key to living in our world is our vow to listen for the original presence that keeps everything alive. Despite the turbulence and unexpected turns we face, our friendship with that original presence lets us know where we are. In truth, we don't achieve aliveness, but we keep enlivening the presence of our soul by staying in relationship with ourselves, each other, and the whole, until the glare is gone and only the color of things as they are can reach us. This is the season waiting under all seasons. And regardless of our good fortune or trouble, we are always holding off the storm of the world to hear the music that runs through everything. As harsh a teacher as experience is, our greatness as human beings is the unexpected reemergence of life force that is born from the friction of our gifts with what gets in the way. Deep listening takes time, and the more we accept our very human frailties, the more we need to stay in conversation with all of life's agents. This brings us to the work of reverence, to solve our darkness by blossoming and solve our loneliness by loving everything. Through the work of being human, we have been exploring our friendship with experience, which holds the wisdom of life on earth. What are you facing that is breaking you open? Hard as it may be, is there a constraint or limitation in your life that is intensifying one of your gifts? Sweet as it may be, is there a small alignment of life that has introduced you to your truest self? Where are you in your personal practice of discerning right action? Whatever it is you face, are you living with it, what is before you, trying to change it, or working to live somewhere else? Though it can change daily, are you living in accord with what you have come to know is true? This is at the heart of being human, to reconcile our humanness by untangling our relationships with everything. We can only do this with a commitment to stay wholehearted. I encourage you to accept that we are here to come apart and be put together repeatedly. I encourage you to accept your humanness and to accept where it leads. I encourage you to stay wholehearted. This is the work of love.
Join with me in knowing that there is one thing out of which all things rise. God, Spirit, love, the thing itself. And it is within this one that we move and have our being. It is infinity present within all things. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. I am the love of God. Because I am one with this love, Spirit speaks through me, revealing itself through me. I am God in action. I know for me, as I know for you, this truth, that the power of God protects us. And in that knowledge, I invite you to quiet your mind. Reflect on our oneness and the truth that God is all there is. As we know this love, we know our true nature is divine. With God as our strength, we rest deeply and breathe easily. Quieting our thoughts, we are still and simply be. Being still in this moment, we release any thoughts that are not divine, recognizing Spirit as the central presence and power within our being, fully flourishing and elevating our life in this moment. We grow in spiritual strength as the wisdom creates harmony and darkness, order in our life. We are purely vitality, still, strong, and steady. We shine outwardly to the world, that which is within. We are now a guiding light in expression this day in every way. With deep gratitude, we rest in the truth that Spirit is our life and my very being. I release my word to the loving activity of the infinite mind, which knows only its unfoldment, and so it is. Reverend Sue?
Good morning. Hello. You guys got my back?
We got your back.
Okay. All right. Well, the message we continue, right? Appreciate Lori reading Mark Nepo, because within that nutshell of that message is what we're talking about today, sharing with you that wisdom of what it means to trust in self, but also trust in God. So we're moving forward in the idea of trusting in God today. And I reflect you back. There's last week, we concluded our message about trusting in ourselves by looking at the wisdom. This is the book that we're looking at this month, Trust, by I can't ever say her name. Calm down. Iyanla. Lana. Her. Last week I wrote it out phonically. I kept writing it real big, like, don't mess it up. And then I thought, I'm pretty confident with it this week. Well, I wasn't. So I'm going to call her our author. Okay, but it's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful book on trust. And so last week she said, if you're going to trust yourself, you must be honest and honorable at all times, in all situations, under all circumstances, no matter where you travel on the road of life. Trust and truth are what you must learn. Trust and truth are what you must practice. Trust and truth are what you must do. So inviting us into that idea, in essence, What are you hearing? Stand in your truth, speak your truth, walk your truth, and know that this is what is shaping you along the way. Now, that's a very vulnerable space. You might be in a place of strength inside yourself, and you're thinking, oh, that comes easy. I walk my talk. Until we're touched upon something that has challenged us deeply, and we get really insecure within the very heart of our being. But it's a vulnerable space, and I look at that vulnerable space as the holy space. I look at that space as I am open. I am open to receive something more than I am getting from my own voices in my head, and longing to be empowered by that something greater than the struggle I find myself in. Now, there's an affirmation that goes with this very beautifully. Look back and thank God. Look back and thank God. Look forward and trust God. Isn't that beautiful? Look forward and trust. So, I know that all of our lives are filled with these shared moments with life that aren't always easy, where our hearts get roughed up. I know we've all experienced the human condition, it seems. And we see, though, that in those moments, that's also the time where our heart gets informed. And we're also finding ourselves seeking, I don't know what the voice inside of you is, but sometimes when we meet those walls inside of ourselves, we say, show me, something, show me the way, show me. I want out of this. I want out of this suffering. I am burdened by this suffering. So we ask for a power greater than we are to help us see our way through whatever it is. And I don't mean to make those moments seem small. They're incredibly challenging. But we might also hold steadfast during all of that. I've heard this so many times, but I'm not religious. So I'm not really looking for God. Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. I'm just struggling here. But what are you looking for? You're looking for an essence, a truth, a guidance that comes from a divinity, and it has to be something that you name, that you're comfortable with, that you invite in. That those people, even when we're unwilling to name what we think God is, we still know that there is a grace of healing that we are seeking. So oftentimes in practitioner training, we talk about this. What's your God word? What's your God word? God repels somebody, that very mention of that 3-letter word. Other people just open to the idea of God as nature, God as spirit, God as life, God as beauty, God as love. You see? It's not a being like we think of human beings. There is this beautiful quality of grace that we're seeking, that we're longing for, that is wiser than we seem to be in the moment. So our hearts are calling for peace and resolve. And we can feel so incredibly desperate in those moments, so broken, lonely, lost. But we ache at our core. Now, I know some of you, when we do these talks together, some of you might be going, oh yeah, I'm in that now. Will she just quit talking about it, or I'm going to fall apart? Or, oh, I'm glad I'm past mine. They're dark nights of the soul. There are moments that have shaped you. But at the ache of our core, what's happening is we're being called into the unknown. We think it's unknown. But in reality, it's that ever-present flow of love and grace that is moving through it all. It's known as being omnipresent. So the soul of you, which is so divinely connected to that oneness that I speak of, that is beyond words to even describe, is pulling you to the divine. Your soul knows your truth. Your soul is pulling you towards all the qualities of the divine, even when you're very sheepish about claiming that it is even a divine intervention that you're longing for. So these God qualities that I speak of, peace, love, joy, beauty, life, truth, wisdom, power, goodness, wholeness, all of these attributes of the divine are the source of your longing. And so if we all try to say, what has been troubling me, we can narrow it down to what we long for in that. I heard a sweet man the other night say that very thing at our dinner table. I'm not religious, but I'm longing for peace. Do you see? Right there, you can hear it when you talk to others. And it's a portal, it's a doorway into their soul's longing. And they just shared with you the most sacred truth they have. It comes from that very deep soul lesson that they are recognizing they're not alone, and they know that if they keep seeking, the answer will be never abandoned. Now, this is important to go back to your upbringing to see how you've been raised to understand what this divinity is all about. Because I need to let you know, for those of you that are still harboring this, you are not being punished by a God. Now, that can be unsettling for some because you're very rooted in some of your faith path. But the freedom of the idea of new thought, which this whole philosophy of science of mind is based on, there is no punishing God. There is no script that God has written for you and you're falling out of line and now you're in big trouble. Now, I was raised with that. That's why I can speak with it. I would go sneak that cigarette thinking, well, God can't see me here. I'm behind this big wall. But what would happen? There would be the parent that shows up and you've got the smoke in your mouth. Out it comes, totally exposed. You see, whatever we're trying to hide is always revealed, but that's not God doing it. That's the soul nature in you to get in alignment with something greater. It's about retrieving yourself in your soul center. And it might be necessary, everything that you're going through might be the necessary outcome of the seeds that you have sown throughout your life. Because in my idea of the divinity, in my idea there's no victims. There's no victims in the consciousness of the one. And this is a whole topic on itself, so I'll save that for another day. But when we allow ourselves to be an open channel for the divine, we get out of our own way, and we're just a conduit. We're just a conduit. It's what shows up in us when we show up in the most difficult moments. It's what shows up, what I've seen it so often when I've been in that food line on those Friday mornings. It's raining, it's cold, but people are hungry. And we become one, the servers and those being served. They become one. And we're just back and forth. And then we add to that, our center brings the Shoes for Souls. That is so incredibly touching. That whole nurse in me wants to fix their toes because they're so damp and worn out from walking in the elements. This is how God shows up, and there's a oneness there. So always, always our greater good is unfolding. And to me, just knowing that, when I'm in the middle of something, that's the carrot, like the carrot in front of the donkey story. That's the carrot that keeps me going, that keeps healing my heart when I feel like I can't find my way out. So what is our greater good? It's a surrendering to the divine way, who the only desire of the divinity that exists in the essence of this whole universe is for us to be free. But free of what, you might even ask? To me, it's the free of burdens that we carry in our body and our mind, all through the unattended sorrows and regrets that we've carried along our way, along our journey. Now, something that our author, cleared myself there, out in our writing about trust, there is no I'm so eager to say this. There is no greater battle between the parts of you that want to be healed and the parts of you that are comfortable and content remaining broken. What does that mean? So to me, it means there's a holy way. There is a holiness that is longing for you to experience wholeness, the divine quality of wholeness. No part of you needs to be left in the past with regrets, with shame or blame, and no part of you can become so complacent that we stunt our own personal growth of that pure, precious inner self. We're each here, the belief I have, and I just share it with you, is to evolve to our greatest potential, and yes, to heal and to learn about what is that will change me, that will shape me, that will lead me into that idea of oneness and love. It's leading us to trust in what I'm going to continue to name as God here today, or trust spirit, or trust whatever name you have for that truth. But also trust in the self of you with the capital S, which is informing us that that is the divine connection that's so beautiful. So we're always invited to believe in the possibilities of our experience in life, to trust. And that leads us to, well, what are we listening to? What are we listening to within that seems to continue to betray us? What is betraying us in the past so much that we thought we dealt with it, but today we're still licking our wounds? Or we're ignoring our wounds. So much attention and direction follows this negative thinking that can happen. But we just find ourselves there. We need to recognize when we're there and then turn towards that infinite intelligence, that higher mind, because it speaks to you. It speaks to you. And if you didn't get it by listening within to that still small voice, it will reveal itself in the next billboard or the next license plate or bumper sticker. You'll just go, whoa, there's a message for me. It's there. It's always, the truth is always being revealed. And we could deny it, but it is an authentic voice inside of you. It comes from the deepest essence of who we each are. Now, she also shares in this way, the challenges many of us face is that we were taught to worship an external God, an identity of being that exists somewhere outside ourselves. So we're looking outwardly. God, as many of us have been taught, is something that we cannot see and we cannot touch. And in response to that, most of us come to believe, then if we can't see it or touch it, then we can't hear it. And those who do hear are just really special people. But here's the highlight. When we trust ourselves, the more we get to hear God speak. It's a stillness. It's a felt sense that is directing our way. And no fear, no doubt, dare interfere with that holy encounter. So as she says, her story, she goes through in her trust, and she has many examples of her own journey as she followed her guidance She's following her guidance only to face a barrage of negativity. And she felt the fear starting to rattle inside of her decisions, but her heart spoke loudly. Trust in the Lord with all your mind, all your heart, and all your soul. Lean not into your own understanding. We've heard that. We've heard that before. And what is this, Lord? What is this, Lord? It's your heart. It's your very heart. In the very center of you, the Lord is our divinity. The Lord, your heart, is your truth. When we feel shaken, we have to use our spiritual knowing and trust in this deep self. We can rely on spiritual principle to support us along the way, because when negative energy is drawing us, this divine light will shine into our confusion. Just like Mark Nepo said, when there's a glare we can't quite see, we're squinting to see, but when that glare disappears, we see exactly what we need to know. So we turn, how do we do this? We turn to prayer. We turn to a moment of affirmative treatment, as we call it in our teaching. We turn to dialoguing with that source of what I speak of, to clarify our way, and then we get quiet. That's the part that we sometimes forget. We treat, we pray, and then somebody will say, how you doing? And then you went back into your, woe is me. You have to be still. You have to listen. Allow no doubt or fear to taint this clarity, this divinity. And we must ask in order to receive. We must ask for that divine quality or attribute that we so are hungry for. Ask, and then you shall receive. There's an anonymous saying. Man says, show me, and then I will trust you. But God says, trust me, and I will show you. See? As we flip our coin of suffering, we realize where we can direct our attention. So we're personalizing this message a little bit, but also on a global view, we value the insights that we are coming upon, because as we receive those insights, we're also starting to live and walk our talk and allowing a transformation then on how we're going to view our world that we live in. We're using these spiritual principles of trust to engage with our concerns for the oppressions and the sufferings around the world. That universal ache that we're bearing witness to calls for this greater vision to be made manifest. Howard Thurman, great philosopher, says, it can be said that any tragedy has inherent in it positive good. Given the fact of pain as a normal part of the experience of life, one may make the pain contribute to the soul life meaning. One may be embittered, ground down by it, but one need not be. We don't need to let us feel squashed by what's happening. And as we settle deeper and deeper into the callings of our times and the calling of our own soul, to understand the nature of God and to trust what you're understanding, we're reminded that the one thing we have to trust when it comes to God is this, that everything is at all times just as it needs to be. Oh, that's a hard one to swallow. I don't want it that way. I want it my way. It would be so much easier if it was my way, if I could just direct everybody's minds to serve me. I would be happy. But here it is. Everything is at all times just as it needs to be. Because you cannot trust what you think is going to happen or what might happen or what has happened in the past even. You can't trust any of that. Take a moment before you shut down this message and think, I don't like where she's going with this. Stay open. Stay open in the Lord of your heart. In that space of you that is hearing the truth, hearing the thread of truth, because the things we try to judge as good or bad, remember this is all our own perception. We're seeing everything we see in life from our own biases, and we're judging our experience through that. So, the author further elaborates, what we can trust is that whatever happens is what is required for our growth, evolution, and that process is good even when it hurts, a little or a lot. So we might say, because this answers that question, why does God let this happen? Oh my gosh, humanity needs all of this chaos, it seems, to bring us each individual into our own personal understanding so that we rise as the spiritual warriors in our experience. So here we hear Michael Beckwith. He developed, visioning has been around for a long time, but he packaged it in such a way that made it very applicable as our spiritual practice. So he said, not all pain is negative, even though we label all forms of pain as such and we want to resist them. Positive negativity is a circumstance that causes us to go deeper, to search ourselves, to stop placing blame on the causes of suffering outside of ourselves, and here we take a responsibility. Negative thinking. Think about that when you're in that space of negative thinking. And we're asked here to start to find our answers, to begin to see what Michael Beckwith talks about when he does the visioning process. He says, oftentimes we're being pushed and shoved by our life circumstances. But when you start to invest yourself in the deep visioning practice, when you're allowing yourself to just sit in that, and the questions that you ask in visioning, you sit very still. You sit until your heart is open to truth, and then you question, and then you listen. What is God's idea of me in this lifetime? And then you listen. And you might just get an image of a parakeet. It doesn't matter. Hold on to whatever vision pours into you and just keep listening, and it'll start to apply itself in your vision of what you're going to see next. Because Michael Beckwith says, suffering is the great awakener. Human beings go through excruciating circumstances, so you will often hear individuals describe their lives were changed for the better because of them. Their suffering has its own gift that are different but equally as valuable as the gifts that happiness gives us. Now, this is always so much easier to swallow when you're in a happy place. When, just like the opening song said, just smile, just everybody got to smile. And I did watch everybody. You were smiling at their song back to you, that invitation. So looking at ourselves, knowing that life circumstances are what's motivating us to take action, to make changes, to restore ourselves to wholeness and well-being. Michael Beckwith informs us that we can make that choice. We can make that choice in our vision for a better outcome, and allowing ourselves to be no longer pushed but pulled by that vision, pulled by that energy, pulled by that mental equivalent that we help shape with the influence of the divine. That's the resilience of our spirit. That's the resilience of our heart. That's our resilience when we trust in God. Our smallness might think that we are abandoned because we can't see the big picture. But visioning is the gateway to that bigger view, and we get out of our smallness and witness a bigger unfolding. So we're not entering this relationship with God to be pleasing or to bargain with God. It's so much more. We are discerning now. I ask you these questions, and I would invite you to listen to your heart, to watch the quickening inside of you, because no one is special here. We're all one here. And we all have access to that divine influx. So these questions begins with discerning what God is personally to you. What is God to you? What God beliefs and expectations did you grow up with that no longer are serving you? Are you expecting something from God? Do you believe you have to be a certain way to be worthy of God's grace? Do you feel that life is only aligned with God if you aren't suffering? Do you question God? Why is this happening to me? Do you trust in nature and the laws of nature? Or is God set up in your mind still as being out there in some magical la-la land? Do you even relate? Can you even accept it, the possibility that God dwells within you as you? Because these things that we were once taught about God, they can limit us now in trusting God. So work this week to try to understand in your own personal way the nature of God and your relationship with this divinity. And then I even ask you, are you timid to even face any of these questions? But you'll find your answers. They'll be right there in the soul of your heart, leading you to trust. Every insightful message that comes through to you is allowing you to realize I'm no longer stuck in the pain of my experience, but I'm riding on the waves of enlightenment. God lives, moves, and has its very being in, around, and through everything. And nature and God are one. And we watch the seasons change, and we definitely float through all of those without any complaining. Most of us, except when it gets hot in the summer. But all of it, nothing's personal that's going on in this world. Nothing's personal. Nothing's out to get you. There's just a cycle happening. There's laws of life and of nature that are evolving and all creative and all encouraging you to grow to a higher purpose. So I'm going to take us into the idea of, invite Judy up. Your ideas this week are to wrap around spending some time getting to know God. Renew your relationship with the divine. Refresh the energy around your spiritual practices. Understand that this divine spirit is unfolding through your personal experience, so it's important. Be willing to engage with God from this new perspective. It is in every breath. And when you realize, gosh, I am breathing. And when you realize every breath is sacred because that's your life, oh, another holy encounter. Another step into the stillness and the silence in your very breath. We must know God to trust God, and it's going to happen at your core soul level. It's going to be the most wonderful spiritual experience. So think about this in Course in Miracles. I am as God created me. Think about this as you close your eyes and start to bear witness now, your own personal testimony to what I speak of, allowing God to speak. I am as God created me. My mind is one with the God mind, and this makes me holy. This makes me worthy. I am learning my way. And I choose to say yes to this level of trust. And I continually return to Spirit. I am the divine. God is all there is. And this principle of trust seems to be so invisible, but now I am so intimate with this relationship with Spirit. It is within me. As I speak my word for each one of you here, to allow that sense of walking away from the comfort zones and take a leap of faith into something new. Find out who you are and who you are capable of becoming as we align with God's vision for all humanity. This is bhakti. This is devotion. I invite you to feel that as you enter your heart. Bhakti, devotion, surrender. I am one. I am one with this love. I allow God speak. I allow the moments of silence to inform me. Right here, in this very moment, there is a healing, a light, a divinity that is ever present, always here, but now it is holding me. I am one with that light, with that love, with that truth, and I am so incredibly grateful that today I am choosing a greater vision of divinity, and I trust God, and I trust my life, myself. So with the deepest heart of gratitude, feel your heart right now. All the walls are down, and you are bowing to the Lord, to your own heart, invested with truth. Just let it be. Let it be so. Thank you. Choir. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, testing. Okay. As I prepare to give my offering today, my heart is filled with love and appreciation, since what is offered here is for my spiritual well-being. I am filled with gratitude, knowing life stays in balance, for as I give, I receive. I give thanks for all the blessed donations received in the offering this morning and during the week. I know each dollar supports this spiritual family in many ways as we grow together, pray together, and give thanks for all this center has been blessed with today and always, and so it is. I have a couple announcements. I know there's going to be another song, but tonight is the gong meditation. And what time was it, Charlie? 5:30? 5:30 to 6:45. Also, next week we're having a potluck Sunday. So if you'd like to bring something, it would be appreciated. There's one more thing. Oh, Charlie, Shirley, and I will be at the front by the bell if you need any prayer service. One more song.
Yeah, what they said, what they sang. I should have just said, why don't you guys just carry the show today? Because through music, we hear so much truth. So I need to share with you, because not all of you could join the voice class, but Lindy has taught a lot of us some really clever ways to find our authentic voice. So if you're trying to find the authentic voice of the divine, and maybe some of the choir that are in the class, or those of you out there, can do that with me, but if you're struggling in one area, you can do a, so here it goes. Whoop, 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 whoop. Try it. Whoop, 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 whoop. Is that right, Lindy? Whoop, woo, woo, woo. But the one I like, because this is the one I think we can do to those voices in our head that aren't the truth. Hey, right? Hey, 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 hey. Go ahead, try it. Don't be so shy. Hey. You know what happens after that? A sweet song follows. Yeah, something more true is what you hear. So all week long, if you're not feeling it, just whooping hay, whooping hay. So thank you for being here today. And I invite you to, this is always the most insecure part, because books are boxed up already, and you might be saying, well, I'll take mine as I go. But if you need to shop, run. If there was some that you still were longing for and couldn't decide, I think Diane will give you a really good deal. So on your marked, get set, go shopping. Thank you.